I love mountains. I love the sense of achievement of getting to the summit and that feeling of being on top of the world. But I have to admit, they're not as easy to climb as they used to be. As a kid, holidays always meant plenty of walking. Scottish Highlands, Snowdonia in Wales, Swiss, French, Austrian Alps. We'd put in the miles, sometimes backpacking, sometimes just day walks. I never needed to think about training. I could just turn up and go. But not anymore. A couple of years ago, I climbed Ben Nevis with two of my sons. It started well, but then we hit the steeper bit. As the path zigzagged up the mountain, I needed to stop at every turn. Getting to the top, I thought the pain was over. But then came the descent. My knees were killing me when I got to the valley below. Stumbling off the mountain, I went to our caravan and just collapsed. My legs didn't feel normal for days. Look, why am I saying this? It's not me having a moan, honest. It's just an example of the well-known saying that age doesn't come alone. As we get older, our bodies wear out. As each birthday comes around, the general trend is a downward one. So when Jesus offers something he calls eternal life, is that really a good thing? If at 16 I can bounce up a mountain, but by the time I'm in my 40s it's become a slog, what will it be like when I'm 200 or even 2000? If my memory is as sharp at 21, but by the time I hit 50 I'm starting to forget stuff, what will I be like at 400 or 4,000? Yet in those questions I'm missing something fundamental. The life that Jesus promises is not this life, just carrying on forever. It's something so much better. First, and we've already seen this in the other two videos in the series, when Jesus talks about eternal life, Jesus is talking about a life where we know God. In John chapter 17 and verse 3, he says, "Now this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." Have you ever done a jigsaw and found a piece was missing? You spent all that time, but you can't complete it. The Bible tells us we were made to know God. Without Him in our life, there's a massive piece missing. And that's the position we find ourselves in without Jesus. Because of our sin, we're separated from God. But at the cross of Jesus, that dividing wall has been broken down. And if we trust in Jesus, we can have eternal life. An incredible and soul-satisfying relationship with God. We can have life to the max. Now, that's something we can have here in this life. But there's more to it than that. The Bible points to a day in the future when Jesus will return. Now, I want to be honest here. That day will mean different things for different people. The Bible speaks of it as a day of judgment. In the book of Acts we read, "For he has set a day when he will judge the world with justice by the man he has appointed. He has given proof of this to everyone by raising him from the dead." Jesus will judge this world, and he will judge our sin. That's something that puts an altogether different perspective on our need for forgiveness with God. It raises the seriousness level. But the return of Jesus is not just a day of judgment. For those who have received life in Jesus, his return is the first day of an incredible eternity. In the book of Revelation, the last book in the Bible, we're told that God will make a new heavens and a new earth, a place where people will know God, and the brokenness and decay we know today will be a thing of the past. Here's how it's described. "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." Just try to imagine that. I used to work on a farm where we grew potatoes. Each load that we harvested had to be sorted and graded. We did this using very noisy machinery in an echoey barn. It was literally an assault on your ears. I loved the feeling. when we got to turn it all off. The quiet was bliss. That's what God is promising here. The pain, the heartache, everything that makes this life hard and stressful will be switched off. This is eternal life. It isn't pain that keeps on going or brokenness that never gets fixed. It's life with God in, and I hesitate to use this word, but I think it's the right one, in paradise. But will Jesus really do this for me? If I trust in him, can I really be sure I'll end up there? That he won't change his mind or something might happen to make it disappear? Listen to what Jesus says in John chapter 10 and verse 28. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish. No one will snatch them out of my hand. Jesus sounds pretty certain, doesn't he? But if that's not enough, this is what he says next. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all. No one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. Jesus came to give life, a life with God, which is better than anything else. So we could have this life, Jesus gave his life. He gave it to deal with the sin that separates us from God. And Jesus has promised to come back one day so we can enjoy this life forever. And he means it. If we trust in him, he will make sure we get there. Now, this is the last of these videos looking at Jesus' offer of life. If you haven't seen the others, the links are in the description below. Why not give them a watch? We've also got a series called Step by Step through Mark's Gospel, an introduction to who Jesus is and what he means to you and me. I'll put the links for that one in the description too. If you want to ask any questions about what we've been talking about here, or anything to do with God, Jesus, or the Bible, our contact details are in the description. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you want to know more, why not come along on a Sunday and join us for one of our services? We meet at 10:30 on a Sunday morning. It would be great to see you.